Today we are going to read the Unit 5, which is dealing with the social issues. As I already told you that you will be entering into the society. You should know what is there in the society. Then only you can make a place within it or a space within it. Right? Before going to read about these social issues, what are these issues actually? That we have to see. And in the same book at the page number 164, you have an extract from Dr. Ambedkar's view about the society and caste system. That we have to read and then we can go for this lesson. Here are the words of Dr. Ambedkar on caste system. Read the text carefully and make notes on it. Suggest a suitable title also. That is the under study skills we have. But before starting this, as an introduction, I am taking this there. There is an impact on that. We can see to it. What is it? There are other special features of the caste system which have their evil effects and which militate against democracy. One of such special features of the caste system lies in its being accompanied by what is called graded inequality. Castes are equal in their status. They are standing one above another. They are jealous of one another. It is an ascending and descending scale of contempt. This feature of the caste system has most pernicious consequence. It destroys willing and helpful cooperation. Caste and class differ in the fact that in the class system there is no complete isolation as there is in the caste system. This is the second evil effect of the caste system accompanied by inequality. This manifests itself in the fact that the stimulus and response between two castes is only one-sided. The higher caste act in one recognized way and the lower caste must respond in established way. It means that when there is no equitable opportunity to receive the stimulus from and to return the response from different caste, the result is that the influence which educates some into masters educates others into slaves. The experience of each party loses its meaning when the free interchange of varying modes of life experience is arrested. It results into a separation of society into a privileged and subject class. Such a separation prevents endosmosis. There is a third characteristic of the caste system which depicts the evil thereof, which cuts at the very roots of democracy. It is that one caste is bound to one occupation. Society is no doubt stably organized when each individual is doing that for which he has aptitude by nature in such a way as to be useful to others, and that it is the business of society to discover these aptitudes and progressively to train them for social use. But there is in a man an indefinite pluralities of capacities and activities which may characterize an individual. Satisfaction is a stunting of the growth of the individual and deliberate stunting is a deliberate denial of democracy. This is what Dr. Ambedkar, before writing the constitution, compiling the constitution felt about the existing society. That is about 50 years and more than that, 57 years ago or 64 years ago he felt it. We can say about 64 years ago he felt it. But still the same is existed in the society. That itself is pulling our development back. We have divided our society with the caste. But it is our, what we can say is, it is our bad luck. What had come out is the disparity, inequality between the castes. Somebody used to think I am the highest. See, here these 5 fingers, these 5 are not equal to each other. This, 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 this. If you see, lengthwise also they are shorter and taller or longer, we can say, right? And when we are making a fist also, each and every finger has its own place. And then only you are getting the strength. You try to make the fist in another manner and see whether you are getting the strength or not. No. That means each and every individual has its own position in the society. Then only the society can be stronger. Here there is nobody inferior, nobody superior. Right? Why we are talking here now? Okay. Now, how this discrimination, how was it in the society? To what extent? To what extent means the highest class person, wherever he sits, he doesn't like somebody, some other caste. Maybe I am Brahmin, right? And Vaishya man, I don't allow that Vaishya man sitting beside me. I won't allow. Why that won't allow? Is he not equal? Is he untouchable? But it has come into, somehow into our families it has come, or into our society it has just seeped in. Unknowingly, you do not know, it is entering, it has entered. And when it comes, it has bursted. When it has come out, it has bursted. And now that he called it as, right? So, it is very clearly said in the Vedas, you can see to it, Brahmanam means it is not a caste, but your attitude towards the people, towards the day, towards the time, towards the minute. How principled you are, how disciplined you are, that determines into which class or into which caste you fall under. And in that, this one limitations, anger is never there, right? And again, hatredness was not at all there. Once if the hatredness comes into, you cannot qualify as a Kshatriya and as a Brahmin. It is very clearly written over there. That we are forgetting, and we are embracing this hatred. For what? We do not know. Why I am talking all this is, this topic here, the storied house. It is a Marathi story which deals with the caste system, high class and lower class. And if you see a village, nowadays of course that division is not there, but up to I can say up to 80s or up to 70s, we were having this classification, that is a division of the village. Brahman Gully is different, right? Nailola Basti is different. And there used to be a complete street earmarked for the business class of people. Komatola Vidi, Komativaldu. They will be in that one, that area only. Can't they come into other places? No, they don't want to come out to other places. Brahmana people, they never used to go to the Komati place or Nailola Basti, never. Right? After all these things, aloof, away from it, if at all there is a pond over there or some stream over there, after the other bank, the Malola Basti, That way it used to be there. Up to 70s, I clearly remember, up to 80s also I can say it was there, that kind of demarcation. That is the narrow walls. Here I would like to recall our Rabindranath Tagore's famous poem, Where the Mind is Without Fear. And some of the lines I would like to read for you. It is there in your book in the very beginning. Where the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls, into the heaven of freedom, my Father, let my country awake. When? Before independence itself, Rabindranath Tagore said this. Why? He felt it. It is a need of the hour. What is that one? The domestic walls have to be removed. Fragments, narrow thinking, all these things are to be stopped. That way he felt. And he has given you a real description or a definition for freedom. What is real description or definition for freedom is you are to be free from every kind of thought. Right? That is what he put it here. Where the world has not been broken into the fragments by narrow domestic walls. Where comes these domestic walls? I am a Brahmin. I erect a wall around me. You are a Naidu. There is a wall over there. Right? You are a Komati Ayana. There is a wall. Why these? He is doing his business, he is doing his work, and I am doing my work. That's all. And here we are all brothers in this society. That thought, whenever it comes to each and every person's mind, then that society is a free society, we can say. That is what Rabindranath Tagore said. After when we have discussed Rabindranath Tagore and Dr. Ambedkar here about the caste system, when we have decided all these things, we see why people still struggle. Right? It is given in two parts, but it is only one story, the storied house. That is, only a certain class of people are allowed to live in two-storied building. You see, though you may be having money with you, though you may be afford to do it, you are not allowed to live in a storied house. Only a certain class. Right? That is the main idea about here, this one. So I'll read the story for you. There was something really wrong with the state transport bus. It had come up the winding road in the mountain as if with a lifetime effort. The road was now downhill, and yet the bus moved as slowly as a sick man walking with the help of another. It reached the plain where the dispensary building was situated and stood still like an obstinate bull. Now, the destination was hardly a mile or two away, but the driver was sore and the conductor had no option but to be silent. When they realized that the bus wouldn't move any faster, a couple of passengers exclaimed, "God damn it, for a bloody nuisance." You see, transport services in those days. Now, is there any change in transport company? No. Daily I commute about 25 kilometers in a city bus. And the city bus means what? I put these earplugs and try to listen a sweet music. But I cannot. Why? Each and every part of the bus will be buzzing, giving you a sweet music for you. And so you need not have to put your earplugs again, not necessary. Okay, and the bus driver, he applies the brakes as and when he wishes to do. That means they will test the strength of your backbone. Right? That is the bus services till today. And now you can imagine what could be the bus services in those days. Right? Here he had put very rightly, there was something really wrong with the state transport bus. Really. Why? gada 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 gada. All along you should hear this sound. You will be continued. You will be having it along with you. And it had come up the winding road. That means if it is a hilly area, it will be going down like this. This is called winding way. If you go to Tirupati, you will be knowing it, how the roads are placed over there, how you will be climbing the hill. Winding road in the mountains, as if with a lifetime effort, it will be going ahead. That way it will be going step by step, inch to inch, foot to foot. Likewise it will be moving, like as if it is a lifetime effort. The road was now downhill, right? It has gone up. And the other side, when it goes down, it will be going down, right? Though it is downhill, the bus was taking the same kind of effort, same speed maintaining, and it was going as if somebody is pushing from behind. As if some patient, he takes the shelter of my shoulder and walks. In the same manner, the bus was rolling down, though it is downhill journey. It reached the plain where the dispensary building was situated. Okay, it had come into the village. Before entering into the village, the first thing to cross is a dispensary. You see, the village and its what we call the planning also, village planning or town planning, how it would be. Right? First thing, all the houses, according to the caste system, the houses would be there. Then there will be a small pond-like structure. Right? Around that park, there may be a road or there may be some parks like things, or some weekly huts and weekly what we call as bazaars will be gathering over there around. Then there will be open place, there will be a school. Right? And after that, you will be having the bus stop. And after that, you will be having your what we call as your burial ground, means the end. Right? Between the bus stop and that burial ground, there has to be a dispensary hospital. Right? Now, when I was seeing the village like that, town plan like that. But after few decades, when I see to it, the hospital has come into the heart of the town. How come? The school, around that there are bus stops and markets and everything. Ho halla. That means the teacher, what he teaches and the student, what he learns, we do not know. Why it has come like that? Because of the space. And moreover, because of the increase in the population, and every inch of the land has to be occupied. That way now there is no planning. So here, when the road is ending and we are entering into the village, there is a dispensary. It has come on the plain road. Now when the dispensary has come, and now the bus had stopped there. Now the bus had stopped there. Why? As it wound its way through the curves or the outskirts, it groaned and croaked. Groaned. Groan means to bring out some sound, to utter some sounds with heaviness or with pain or with tiredness. That is called groan. Suppose I am carrying a load, that way I will be carrying. Right? That that is groaning. Okay. And now croaking. Croaking also, some if the sound is not free here, the croaking sound will be coming. As if we are sleeping and in the sleep we are croaking. Right? That way the bus, it is unwillingly entering into the village, making some groans, some croaks. And these two again compared to what? A hen which is about to lay the egg. You see the observation of the writer. The bus entering into the village as if a truant is entering into the school. And it is croaking and what we call as a groaning here, as if it is a hen which is about to lay the egg. This is groaning or crocking of a hen. By this, the village women will be knowing, yes, that hen is going to lay the egg. Right? And when the egg is laid, the hen gets calm, cooled down. Then it is understood egg is there. Right? So now this has been observed by the writer so minutiously, and he had put it here for the bus. It is not a hen, it is not a trunk, not a boy, but these two things he has added to give you a clear picture about the bus transportation. Now, lastly, it has come and stopped where? Bhujaba Patil residence. Bhujaba Patil residence means he is a very high ranked man in the village. The bus cannot stand somewhere there, cannot stand somewhere here. It has to stop in front of his house. That is his dignity and his pride. As it halted, it gave a big lurch. I need not tell you what is this lurch. And the brake with the driver, right? As and when he feels, he will be just pressing the brake pedal. Then what will happen? We will be falling down. That is lurch, a jerk. The bus has taken a jerk, that has been called as a lurch, right? Why lurch? Because the passengers will have a forward fall, and so it has been taken the word. So with a lurch, sending the passengers helter-skelter. Helter-skelter. Suppose there are certain hen in your pen, in your fencing. Okay, and those hens will be kept under a bamboo, what we call as bamboo cage like thing, right? And when that cage has opened, removed, that as if somebody chasing them. Nobody chases, but the hen and the chicks over there, they will be running here and there. That is really helter-skelter. Suppose there is a grouping over there, a big mass is over there, mass of people. If somebody says, there is a bomb, people run helter-skelter. They don't look where they are running. Whether they are running on the road or on the backs of some people, they don't bother. They want to escape. That way, the people, the passengers from the bus, they were climbing down the bus. When you go up, that is also hurry. When you go down from the bus, then also hurry. Right? So now, passengers helter-skelter, churned like water in the pitcher when the carriers tumbled. వాటర్ క్యారియర్ కావిడి వేస్తారు భుజం మీద, రైట్? భుజం మీద వేసుకొని చిన్న మన ఏఎన్ఆర్ గారే చేయగలరు ఆ పని. ఇలా నడుస్తారు. అక్కడ కావిడిలో 2 కుండలు ఉంటాయి, ఇలాగ బ్యాలెన్సింగ్ అవుతూ అవి నీళ్ళలాగా జరుగుతూ ఉంటాయి. ఈ వెనకాతలు కూడా 2 కుండలు ఉంటాయి, అవి కూడా నీళ్ళు. ఆ కుండలో నీళ్ళు ఎట్లా కదులుతూ ఉంటాయి, రైట్? ఇన్ ద సేమ్ మేనర్ హియర్ ఇన్ ద బస్ ది ప్యాసింజర్స్ దే వర్ జర్క్డ్ and they were falling down, and helter-skelter they were like that, right? If at all the water carrier, the fellow, had stumbled, then what would happen to it, right? In those parts, water is there. Water will be completely shaken and some water may spill out. The same thing happened when the bus stopped in front of Bhujaba's house. All the passengers got down. The coolie put his hand on a huge wooden box and shouted, "Whose box is this?" There has to be some coolie. Coolie means, you see, people, they wait for some certain job. The daily workers, that means they need money on that day itself. So they will be there standing near. That means it is not an appointed job over there. They will be at hand. So this kind of opportunity they will be coming across, that is to carry some heavy luggage to home. And so coolie asked, "Whose is this a heavy trunk here? Whose box is this?" Bayaji, who was brushing away the dust from his body, answered, Oh, it is mine. Please lower it down. Now, Bayaji, he is just dusting his clothes. Why? All along the route, the bus was moving in such a fashion that each and every dust particle it was raising from the earth and coming into the bus through the windows. Means very less amount of air and a great amount of dust. And so all over Bayaji was covered with such kind of dust. And moreover, when the bus stopped, then he was forced to get down. Right? By that also he was covered with some kind of dust. And now he is removing that dust. And he said, yes, yes, that is mine. Lower it carefully. Carefully now. Likewise, he asked the coolie to get it down carefully. The coolie heaved and grunted as he lowered the box, which Bayaji caught with ease. The coolie, he heaved and grunted, means as if with a very heavy load. When he is lowering it, he said, that way he heaved it. And Bayaji, very easily he took it. Right? That means you can understand the changing sterility of the human being. Right? My grandfather used to walk about 10 kilometers as his morning walk. Daily. Morning walk 10 kilometers going and 10 kilometers coming up. That too in a fixed time. And now if you want me to walk, I will think twice. Why walking? We are having a bus, no? Why walking? We have a car, no? Why walking? We have a scooter, no? See, walking has become a difficult task. Even for 1 kilometer, not why 1 kilometer, few meters, if I walk, I get tired. Now, the word grunted, the meaning of it is grunt, to make noise when you are carrying certain load with pain. When you say that, that is called as grunt. Bayaji had packed his entire household goods in this box. There was no longer any reason to hang around in Bombay. He had worked honestly for the past 35 years in the dockyard and had retired from service 2 months before. Not that he had held an important position. He had merely got an extension of 2 years during that period. He had become a supervisor. Otherwise, his entire life had been spent lifting heavy loads. He had worked very hard whenever he could, day and night. The coolie, he grunted when he was lowering the box. And the very same box, Bayaji could able to take it very easily. Why? The reason has been given. He had worked in dockyard, Mumbai. Now it is Mumbai. In those days it is Bombay. In Bombay he was working in dockyard. What is the work? It is not a great job, but it is to carry the loads, head loads. Right? He used to carry everything very easily. Lifelong he spent in carrying only. And of course, last 2 years he had been promoted as a supervisor. Then he is relieved from the pain of carrying things. If not, lifelong he was carrying things, and so very easily he could able to take that box. What is that box containing? Every household item, whatever is required for the house, to set a house, it is there in that box. Bayaji had crossed 60. He is not young, 60, retired. Right? So Bayaji crossed 60 but was a sound health. He had a sturdy frame right from birth, and hard work had given a well-formed shape to his strong body. He paid 15 paise to the coolie, put the box in which he had thrown pots, pans, sundry things on his own head, and began to walk in the direction of his house. In the box, what all the things are there? All the sundry items, all useful things, the pots, the earthen pots, the pans, and everything, spoons, and everything was there in the box. And because the coolie had brought it down, he paid 15 paise to him as his remuneration, and he took that box onto his head, and easily he started walking towards his house. Why he could go like that? Because his body is strong enough. Though he is 60 years old, his body is strong. He could walk with such agility, with such what we call as a freeness. He could able to walk, right? But how he could able to get this strength in his body? He worked hard, taking the loads. Not only that, by birth itself he is a strong framed body. He was having that. So his work made him more agile, more easy, more comfortable to carry the things. So he was very comfortable when he was carrying head load towards his house. As he reached Kadam's house, he saw Bujaba coming towards him. Bujaba was a known rascal of the village. Bayaji balanced his burden on his head. Straightening his neck, he said, "Greetings to you, sir. How are things with you?" You see, two people are to be greeted. Who are they? Very good personality, we have to greet him, and a very nasty personality, we have to greet. Why? Good personality, we may need his help or we may not need his help, but he is very good at heart and he will be always longing for our betterment. So we have to wish him, greet him. Second fellow, he is a nasty fellow. He will be always wishing for the worst for us. Right? If we don't greet him, that cursing will be amounting. That means increasing. So to be away from him, we have to greet him. Right? And greeting in our Marathi place. It is a Maharashtrian story. In Maharashtrian area, greeting is a very hearty one. How it comes? Ram Ram oh! Ram Ram oh! That way they say. And after that oh, they put the name. Right? Ram Ram oh Buaji! That way it comes. Oh Kadam Ram Ram! That way it comes. So the greeting is wholehearted greeting over there. It is not simply namaste, not like that. Right? So he had greeted as per the custom to the Buaji there. Bujaba, not Buaji, Bujaba. Bayaji was a Mahar by caste, and according to the age, old custom should have greeted Bujaba with my humble salutation to you, sir, who are my father and mother. So, when Bayaji merely said greetings, Bujaba became furious and said, "Do you think you can become a Brahmin merely by saying greetings? Can you forget your position simply because you have turned Buddhist?" You see, if you go ahead, there is a well in front. If you go backward, there is a abyss behind. ముందుకెళ్తే నుయ్యి వెనక్కెళ్తే గొయ్యి. These kind of people are like this. If not greeted, see his pride. Why he is so proud of himself? Because he had been to Mumbai and so he is proud. Must have earned a bit, 1 or 2 paise more, and so he is proud. That way he will be facing the fury of this fellow. And if it are greeted, Ram Ram, oh, is it not? That I told you. But he doesn't want that kind of greeting. A special kind of greeting is required. What is it one? Oh my Bap. Oh my Bap is you are my mother and you are my father. My Bap. He wanted that. Oh, namaskar, oh my bap, Brahman Bua, namaskar. That way is also there. Brahman Bua. That way he has to be greeted. He did not do it, and so he got anger. What do you think? Because you have become a Buddhist, and so what do you think about yourself? Huh? Don't you greet me in a formal manner? That way he has again shown his anger on that fellow. Right? Why is Bayaji is a Mahar by caste? What is this Mahar? Mahar is that fellow, one who removes the carcasses of the animals from the village, and he removes the skin of that animal, and he dries it, and he uses it for making chappal and all these things. He is called as Mahar. So he is a Brahmin here, and that fellow is a Mahar. By the greeting itself there is a difference, and there is a lowing and a highing caste over there. See, why I put lowing and highing is his feelings. We can read with this highing and lowing thing. Right? When he greeted me, yes, why should not I accept it? It is a good thing. Yes, he had greeted me. No, he doesn't want to compromise with that, because I am in a high position, Brahman I am. But what kind of thinking you do have in your mind? And in the outside itself, the writer has put him with a word rascal. You can understand what type of man he is. Right? So, he has shown what kind of man he is. Bayaji was nonplussed. What to do, what not to do. That position is called as nonplussed. For a moment, he was tempted to knock him down with his box, but realized that he couldn't afford to do so. Simply because I greeted and he had given this scolding. Why I should not knock him with this box, knock him down with this box? For a moment he thought in such a manner, but because his, what we call as attitude is not that, it has just pulled him back. His character is not that bad as your, what is his name here, Bujaba. He is not Bujaba's character, and so his character, his amicability, what we call as a friendship, whatsoever, what is the nature, whatever his nature is, that nature just pulled him back, kept him back. If not, he would have knocked that Bujaba down with his box. Besides, now he had come back to his village for good. After a long time, he is entering into the village, and that too with a very good intention. What that? To settle there. Right? If I want to settle in a village, and if I just buy enmity with the headman of that village, can I put up myself in the village? No. So with that thought, he had put his wishes back aside. He was to spend the rest of his days on this soil and would be interred in the same soil. You see, wherever a man goes, to whatever the foreign land, he has a feeling towards his mother country, motherland, native place. Right? So, I knew certain people keeping a fistful of sand, soil in their place of worship, and they worship that. I have seen the people. I asked him, what is that cloth containing? They said it is the earth we have collected from our native village since long. It is already 50 years ago. We had put our leg over there. Right? And we are worshipping this. That kind of attachment people do have with their native place and motherland. Here, Bayaji also had shown the same thing. What is that one? I spent this life where? In Mumbai, working in the dockyard. Now I want to come back to my native place. I want to live my rest of days here. And why I should buy, purchase enmity with that fellow? Okay, let it go. That way he has shown a kind of consideration. He is most considerate, you can see that. So, he was to spend the rest of his days on the soil and would be interred in the same soil. Interred means he will be put into the same soil after his death. That is the interest he had with that place. He would not be able to return to Pune or Mumbai thereafter. Hereafter, I need not have to go back to Pune or to Mumbai, not necessary. It was not good policy to incur the hostility of anyone in the village, least so of the Patil, the village headman. Who is this Patil here? Bujaba. What is he? He is regarded as the headman of that village. He is regarded. You see, headman is not a position, appointed position. No. All the people give a respect to that fellow. And so he is the headman of that place. If the people do not give respect, he is no more headman. But somehow people give respect. Why? Maybe they are having some leniency over this man. Maybe afraid, maybe because of the fear, or maybe they must have taken some loan from him, or maybe he gives some work to these people. That way they are a bit what we call as considerate for this man as the headman. So why I should incur the hostility, enmity or hatred of this fellow? It's okay. He said something, let him say. That way he considered, he kept silent. So he said in a meek tone, in a very slow or in a weak one, he said, Sir, why spring this on me even before I set foot on the soil of my forefathers? You see, sir, I have come back to my forefathers' native land, or so to say, to my native land I have come down. Right? And why we should have a kind of exchange of words here? And as I said to everybody, I said to you Ram Ram, but I have forgotten really how to express my gratitude to you or greetings to you. Okay, hereinafter I will follow the same thing. Earlier, because of my putting up in Mumbai, and I have taken up that customs over there, Ram Ram, that I said to you. If you feel it is wrong, okay, I will change myself, but don't get irritated for my words, these words. Just I am putting my foot here into my grandfather's place. Why? Aren't you going back to your job? Bujaba questioned him, but inwardly he was a bit happy. This fellow had no income over there at Mumbai, right? He is not going back there. He will be here, and hence I can see to him what best I can do. That way he started already inquiring. Why? Aren't you going back to your job? Asked Bujaba. No, sir. My service is over. I have turned 60. I am already 60 years, and so my service are over and I am retired now. I am coming back. With this, Bayaji lifted the load from his head a little to place it in its position. He lifted the load because he was carrying it for such a long, so he just lifted it, positioned it, or just put it aside, I can say, adjusted it and wanted to walk. That is the indication. Then you have collected your fund money, right? What is this fund amount or fund money? Provident fund money, right? And in those days, though it was very poor amount, but it is the all amount one can expect. So then you have collected your fund amount, questioned Bujaba. Bujaba was taking his measure. Measure means this man, is he of any worth? If he had money, how to take that money off from him, right? That is called measuring. If he has money, right, how much he has and how soon I can get it back from him. That is the thing he was doing. So he answered, yes, sir. Bayaji replied with pride. You see, he collected, he has money with him. So that gave him a kind of pride. How much? Bujaba asked greedily. Hi, Yantra. As if he doesn't have interest, but with the great interest he questioned. Both the things are there. So, not much. What can a daily worker earn? It is not much. I was a daily worker over there. So, how much can I work? Can I get as an earning? So, what part is the fund? You can imagine it is not much. That way he covered it. Bayaji answered, why won't you mention the figure, man? Bujaba persisted. He put some pressure over to get the answer. Why don't you figure it out? Why don't you say what is the amount? అరే తెలుసా డబ్బులు వచ్చుంటాయి కానీ ఎంత చెప్పవెందుకు? That way he persisted. And that too very artfully he put it. That means after this question, that fellow should put the figure. Some 200 or 2,500 rupees. That way he put it. That means only 2,500 or 2,500 rupees he received as his provident fund. Now you can imagine, it is not today. Those days means I can very well say about 300 rupees a tula of gold. That means he could have got about 8 tulas of gold he must have got in those days. Right? 800 grams. Nearly a kg you would earn it. Right? That simply he said 2 and 500 rupees. Bayaji, you have a heavy load on your head. Go to your house first. We will talk at leisure later, Bujaba said in mock sympathy. Now, because that man has a money, some amount, so he is worth. So he wanted to show his interest, but he doesn't want to. Then what he said is, "Arre, you are standing with a load, no? Why don't you go home? We can talk it about later." Okay? As if Bayaji wanted his advice about the money. Readily he was telling, about the money we can talk later. You go home now, you are having a load on your head. He has shown only mock sympathy. Mock means which is not in reality. Sympathy means a kind of a kind gesture. Right? Kindness he has shown. Now, yes, Bayaji mumbled and walked in the direction of his house. At the moment, Bayaji was the proud owner of 2,500 rupees in cash. So it made no difference whether he was an untouchable or a Buddhist. If only one could swindle out of the untouchable Bayaji, or rather Buddhist. If only one could swindle out of the untouchable Bayaji, or rather Buddhist Bayaji, 400 or 500 rupees, that was enough. With the thought in his mind, Bujaba entered his Vada, the big house. Vada. Vada means it is just next to the king's palace. But the structure is more or less the same thing. Here we call it as a gadi. Gadi means Rajakot lantidi. Rajakot kadu, Rajagari Kot kadu, Rajagari palace lantidi. The same way it will be built. So Brahmanavada, he was having a house, a very big lavish house. He went there, but while going on the way itself he was thinking how to deceive the man and how to get, if it is not 2,500, at least some 400 rupees, how to take from this man. That is the thought he was having. Right? So, here, whether Bayaji is a Buddhist or a Meher, that has never come up. The money is the factor over there. And he wanted to make friends with Bayaji. Why? To get that, at least a part of it. You see, when he had saluted him, greeted him, he has shown, you are not equal to me, you are a Buddhist, you are a person to be kept aside. When he has spent the amount, 2,500, and that fellow had become a great, a nearer person to this Brahman, he wanted to take a part of it. Exchanging pleasantries with people he met on the way, Bayaji reached the public building called Takya in the untouchable settlement. The building was named Buddha Vihar by those who had embraced Buddhism. As Bayaji neared Buddha Vihar, the children who were playing with a ball made of rags finished their game and cried out, Baiju Nana is here, Baiju Nana is here. Baiju Nana Ale, that was the correct Marathi translation. And scampered in the direction of Bayaji's house. Bayaji's 85 years old mother quickly scrambled to her feet. She had aged much, but her old worn frame was still sturdy, and her teeth were strong enough to break grams. She could thread a needle without help. When she heard of Bayaji's arrival, her heart swelled. Now, the other part of the village. What is this other part of the village? It is away from the main village. What is it called? It is called as the untouchables settlement. Already I told you the structure of the village. Untouchable settlement, it will be always away from the village. And in that village, the old people and young people, they gather on some place that they call as Takya. And on that Takya, now it is called as Buddha Viram. Right? There all the people gather. There the children were playing with what? With a ball. Could they play with a ball in those days? Let us think about this. No. If a Brahmin boy is playing with a ball, rubber ball, or your cricket ball, the very same ball, even if they purchase it, they cannot play with that. You see the restrictions. Though they have the money, the capacity to buy that ball, they should not buy it. Then how can they play? They are to make a ball, a round shaped thing with the rags, that is used torn cloth. It will be tied round and a ball is made. With that only they have to play. You see how the complete society has been divided. Right? Because this man was having money, that Bujaba was thinking some consideration. If he doesn't have that, right, you have seen already, this fellow had not greeted me in a proper manner. That has already we have seen. Okay, that is what the writer wanted to place here, put before you. All the children who were playing with that ball made out of rags, they stopped playing. Now you can see the affection part. The entire locality of that part, they started shouting, right? Bayaji Nana Ale, Bayaji Nana Ale. That way everybody has come. Nana is a word used with respect, right? And he is 60 years and a sturdy frame he has. He could carry the box having the entire load of a household. he could able to carry right from the bus stop to his house. That strong he was at the age of 60. And now his mother, she is still there. She is about 85 years, but she is also having a very good sturdy frame, right? And teeth. She could break the peanuts through her teeth. Okay. Now, as for the eyesight, she could thread a needle. That strong she was, right? Here, why this has been brought over here? The people, one who work hard, that means a physical exercise they get, physical work they do, and hence their body is strong enough to say that the writer has put all these things there. As Bayaji came in, his wife concealed her joy with the end of her sari and took down the box from his head. You see the women folk there. The head load, the box, it was lowered by the coolie. That coolie grunted, make some voices because he could not lift it. Right? Here the woman, she could able to easily take out that head load and she could able to put it down. Right? And with what gesture? With a shy. And with that shy, this veil will be there, covering of the head. She took it and she put it under the teeth. Right? But a typical village and village people have been very typically described here, you can see. The wife of this man, she concealed her shyness. How did she conceal? Concealed her shyness, keeping this cloth of veil under her teeth, between her teeth, she concealed the shyness. Right? And there only, then she had taken the head load from her husband and she put it down. Okay. His grandchildren clung to him and began to twist the folds of his dhoti. The neighboring children watched the scene in idle curiosity. Now they have nothing to do, idle. Curiosity means, do they expect something? No, they are not expecting something. But they are watching what is happening in this house. That kind of curiosity is called as idle curiosity. Means they don't expect anything to happen, but they want to look. That kind of curiosity is called as idle curiosity. Now, the children, grandchildren were there, and they were just searching what my grandfather brought for me. Where could he keep it? In his dhoti. And so they were touching here and there and they were searching what my grandfather had brought for me. And the other children, they were watching what their friends are to get through the grandfather. You see, that is called idle curiosity. Come, get into the house, children, said Bayaji. Come on, let us go into the house. Not here, not here. That is, he must have brought something, and so he is calling the children inside. His mother walked out with a bent back and told Bayaji to wait outside the door. Bayaji obeyed. That way she ordered her son while entering into the house. Why? Because he had travelled such a long distance and he had come over here. And that fellow, he is her beloved son. Dishti tagili undavachu. Dishti tiyali. Eranil patkostar. Right? And kontamandi aithe gummidikaya patkostar. Right? That is the mother's affection towards the son. That has to be removed and it has to be thrown. Irrespective of any caste, it occurs, whether it is a Brahmin or Vaishya or Shudra or whatever the caste you take, this is a must. One custom is a common custom to every caste. You see, that is what he said. Though the woman having a sturdy frame, her back is bent a bit. She had come over there and she said, "Wait." The man obeyed. He did not say, "Why? After such a long time I am coming and you are asking me to wait there." No, no question at all. That is the relation a son has with the mother, and that is the relation a mother has with the son. He waited, he obliged, very obediently he stood there. The old woman came forward, poured some water over the piece of a bread in her hand, moved it around Bayaji's face and flung it away as an offering. ఒక నిమ్మకాయో ఏదో ఒకటి దిగదుడుస్తారు, దాన్ని దిగదుడుపు అంటారు. రైట్? వాట్ డిడ్ షీ డూ? షీ టుక్ అవుట్ ఏ బ్రెడ్ పీస్, ఒక రొట్టె ముక్క తీసుకుంది. రైట్? అండ్ ఆన్ దట్ షీ పుట్ సమ్ వాటర్ and she put it around his face, around his head and around his body and threw it aside as if it is an offering for all the Kshudra Shaktis which were about to come along with you. They are not coming along with you, but their thinking is such, their way of thinking, we cannot say, but they see all these things. The Kshudra Shaktis should not come along with my boy into the house. And so, as a what we bite to those things, she had put that bread piece away. దిగదుడ్చేసి పారేసిందన్నమాట. She ran her palms over his cheeks and pressed her fingers on her temples. Have seen this? What it is? Now I will show you. She rounded his face with her fingers like this and she put it here and she has done this. Now it is put over there, you might not have understood. Now I have shown it, you understood it. So this every mother does it to her son. And మిటికలు విరిగితే టక్ 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 అంటే అమ్మో ఎంత దిష్టి తగిలిందో కుర్రాడికి, అందుకే ఇలాగా మాడిపోయాడు. The boy is very stout. You see, at the age of 60, you could able to carry the trunk. But for a mother, మెటికలు విరిగే ఇక్కడ మీన్స్ వాట్? దిష్టి తగిలేసింది, అందుకే మాడిపోయాడు. చూసే అలాగైపోయాడో, తిండి లేనట్టు మొహం వాచిపోయింది తిండి లేక. దట్ way the mother thinks. That is the relation. And this only in the villages we can get. Nowadays our culture is what we call as a storied house culture, apartment culture. We do not know what is storied house even. I will tell you when time comes. What is a storied house? Right? Now we don't know what it is. What is the value of it? We don't know. But people used to die for it. Right? Now the culture I am showing you, the exterior culture. So, temples. All 8 fingers gave out a cracking sound. You heard the cracking sound when I have done this. That has to happen. Right? That is the, then they say some other things, as I already told you. Bayaji's family was doing well. He had 8 children in all. 6 sons and 2 daughters. The daughters had been married off and had given birth to children. The elder son looked after the fields. The next 2 sons were in government service. The one after them was a school teacher and the 6th one was still studying. You see, the entire family, he had 8 children in all, 6 sons and 2 daughters. But still, people were having a space to build their house, individual house. Now, every family has only 2 children, right? We don't have space to build our own house on the ground. High on the 25th story, we will have our apartment. What do we own is that only walls, brickwork we own, not the earth. There, The fellow was having 8 children, 6 sons and 2 daughters. He got daughters married, and those daughters have the children again. And here the sons, one is doing farming job, one is a teacher, and 2 are in the government job, and one is still studying. When he got retired, right? Now, since they knew that Bayaji was coming home for good, the elder son in service and the 2 daughters were already home to greet him. All of them wondered what their father had got for them from his lifetime's earnings. Everybody was eager because father had come all the way from Mumbai. What did he bring for me? See, the eldest son must be at least above 40 years. The eldest daughters must be above 40 years, but still they were eager. That is the attachment of a house. Right? The fellow who had gone for service, he had come early because father is coming. The 2 daughters, they were living elsewhere, they had come home here because father is coming back. Not that the next day or the next day they come and greet the father. No. They would be there ahead of the father arriving the home. Right? So, the next day when Bayaji opened the box, it revealed only some pots and pans, nails and photographs. They had to wait till the next day. The box is opened, and what were there in the box? Some pots, some pans and some photographs and some nails. That's all. Looking at these, the elder daughter asked, Nana, how is it that you haven't brought anything for us? So here you see, the daughter has the right to question that. The daughter has the right to question that, not the son. So the eldest son did not ask, why don't you bring anything for me? No. The daughter, she questioned, what is that, Nana? You did not bring anything for us. How come? That means every time whenever you used to visit us, you used to bring something or other for us. Now you have come empty-handed. That way. Why? If at all she goes back to her in-laws house, they question her. మీ నాన్న ఏంటి తెచ్చాడమ్మా నీకోసం, ఏంటి ఇచ్చాడు, బొమ్మాయి నుంచి ఏంటి పట్టుకొచ్చాడు, చూపించి మీ. That way they ask. So she has the right. She questioned. Bayaji was amused that his daughters thought in this childish manner even after they had children of their own. He ran his eyes over all his children and said, Look here, children. If I had brought new clothes for you, they would tear. If I had brought an ornament, it would soon wear out. Out of my earnings, I wish you to have something that will last longer. Bayaji paused after these words. His eldest son was godly. He said, Neither we nor our wives want anything. Tell us what you would like us to do. Look, children, ours is such a large family. Even at meal time, we have to eat by turns or sit crowded, knocking our knees together. I wish to build a house out of my earnings, and it has to be a storied house. The usual 3-portioned house won't be adequate for us. All were happy with this plan. The plan was finalized, and the foundation of the storied house was laid on the auspicious New Year's Day. Now, what did the father bring from Mumbai? Not specifically anything. He very rightly said, if I bring some sari or some shirt or some banyan or some underpant or anything, you will be enjoying it for a year or two. Thereafter, it will be torn away. If I bring some ornament not gold, something artificial one, it will worn out. Soon we will be forgetting it. But I brought money. Let us build a house for ourselves. Okay, we are having a house here, no doubt. But can we eat all together sitting side by side? No. We have to make shifts. After one group finishes, the other group comes. That way we are adjusting our kitchen. Right? This house is made of 3 portions, 3 places, 3 rooms. This will not do. So I want to construct a storied house. What is a storied house? Midde illu. What is this midde illu? కిందన 3-4 గదులు లేదు అంటే ఒక పెద్ద వరండా అన్నీ ఉంటాయి. మీదన 2-3 గదులు వేస్తారు. దాన్ని మిద్దె ఇల్లు అంటారు. And in those days, so they do not know what is this concrete and this usage of iron rods, etc. No. Then as beams, they used to have the tati, what we call as tati dulam. Tati dulam is this palm tree is there, no? That is a very sturdy one. Or your coconut tree. They cut it and they saw it into 4 pieces. And that single piece is called as tati dulam. And a very sturdy, even 50 years it can bear the house. And those will be laid. Right? On that they will have chakka sunnam. Right? And the brick, it will be made into powder and that will be hammered. That is called midde. And above that one floor again they make out. And on that top it will be roofed with thatch. తాటి కమ్మలు కానీ గడ్డి కానీ వేసి రూఫ్ చేస్తారు. దిస్ ఈజ్ డబల్ స్టోరీడ్ బిల్డింగ్. హీ వాంటెడ్ ఏ స్టోరీడ్ బిల్డింగ్ ఫర్ హిమ్సెల్ఫ్. ఇట్ ఈస్ ఎ వెరీ లాంగ్ kept wish within him. And so he had this his provident fund, 2,500. You see, with the 2,500 he could able to make a storied house. Means what? Most of the constructing material need not have to be bought. And labor, they need not have to go for labor. I knew a gentleman, he was our Sanskrit teacher. He built his own house single-handed. He built it. And even he dug his own well in his house single-handed. He did not take the help of anybody. And he is the follower of Mahatma Gandhi. He used to do everything for himself. He never depended on others. He used to come and used to teach Sanskrit. In those days, the teachers are ill paid, and the payment was also for 6 months or complete 1 year or complete 9 months after that. And always these language teachers were put aside. Science and mathematics teachers used to get money. English teacher also used to get money. But social studies, Telugu, Hindi, Sanskrit, these people payments were held for some reason or other. Means what I wanted to say is, though he is going through that kind of poverty, he could able to build his own house. That house is still there. That way the people used to build their own house. How he built it, what happened to this house, we will be learning in the next lesson.